Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Just Naughty, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I pre-part my clients' hair whenever I'm doing jumbo knotless box braids. Now these don't specifically have to be done for knotless box braids. They can also be done for regular traditional box braids. I'm taking the time out right now to show you guys how I pre-part, only because in most of my videos I always fast forward in the process of braiding, so what better chance to show you guys than now. I'm gonna start off by splitting her hair in half, straight down the middle. If you want your parts to be clean, then you should use edge control or any kind of edge wax. It definitely comes in handy when I want a straight part. Because I'm doing jumbo braids, there aren't going to be that many rows. So I think for this style, I'm going to do 4 rows since these are jumbo braids. The back of the hair is only going to have 2 braids. I could put 3, but I think I'll be pushing it then. So I'm going to stick with just 2 sections. My first part is always going to be an ear-to-ear part. You can part a little bit higher, which is what I ended up doing later on in the video. You guys, it's not always this easy to part. Sometimes I have to go over the same part over and over, or maybe go a little bit higher. It's definitely a process to pre-part, but it also helps the process go by a little bit faster. Now that I'm done with my first section, as you guys can see, I pin the section up. Sometimes I do a bantu knot, sometimes I use my clips, or sometimes I might even twist that section. It doesn't really matter what you do, just as long as that section is pre-parted and out the way. My next section is going to be from one end of her temple to the other end of her temple. Before I clean up the part for the second row, I'm going to go ahead and pretty much get a little guideline of where the third and the fourth rows are going to be, so that there's enough hair on each row. Now that I got the layout of each row on one side, I'm going to go ahead and add my edge control and do the same exact thing to the other side. For my second row, I'm going to have about 5 braids. So you'll see me go back and forth until everything is evenly distributed on that row. And don't worry about making everything perfect. Like, as long as your lines are straight, you really don't have to use a magnifying glass to get every strand. As long as it looks good, that's all that matters. Me, of course, I go over my lines over and over and over, and I'm sure there's going to be a time where I miss a strand. It's perfectly fine as long as everything looks nice. I also forgot to mention that when I'm parting, I like to part using the brick method. That's where there's 1 braid in between 2 braids from the previous row. I try to braid all of my box braids like this when I'm pre-parting, so that the hair could look a little bit fuller. The brick method also helps with covering up the gaps from the previous row. For the third row, I parted out 5 sections for 5 box braids, but depending on the size of their head, you can get away with 4 box braids instead of 5. Now that I'm down to my last row, the hair at the top is already split in half. So what I'm gonna do is split that half into 2 sections per side. So the top is gonna have a total of 4 braids. Thank you for watching this video, you guys. I hope I helped someone with pre-parting when it comes to box braids or any type of style that you can use this pattern on. Part 2 of this video will be up soon. I'll see you guys in my next video.